Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Masks Off. I'm Kim.
And I'm Tia.
And we have a very special episode today, but I'm not going to jump into that just yet. I'm going to start with a quote like we always do. The quote is, "Look around you. Everything changes. Everything on this earth is in a continuous state of evolving, refining, improving, adapting, enhancing, and changing. You were not put on this earth to remain stagnant." And that's by Dr. Steve Mataboli. So we chose this quote because we are changing. We're evolving, we're adapting, we're improving, enhancing, and changing, and all of that.
Yeah.
So that we're not staying stagnant.
Exactly.
And we each are going to kind of share which direction we're going in, and let you know what our announcement and news is. So Tia, why don't you jump in and share what you're doing?
Yeah. So, a little background. Kim and I have been doing this podcast for over 2 years, almost 2.5 years. It's amazing how fast it has gone.
And 142 episodes.
Unbelievable. I mean, I have to say, it's a pretty proud accomplishment.
It is. It's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah. We kept showing up every week.
Yep.
And with that, we were having a conversation, last week, a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, I think so.
Recently, and just all of a sudden it's like, are we at a crossroads with this podcast? Are we both ready to step into something else, let it go, transform it? And we didn't really have answers. So we did what we do well. We sat with it and we said, let's come back together and, see what comes up for each of us. And in our own evolution, right? And as the quote says, we look to nature. Nature is always evolving, always changing, always, nothing is permanent.
No.
And that is the lesson, that one of the many lessons nature and that quote gives us. And we came to the conclusion that it was time to take a different direction to support our own individual and collective evolution together. Because while we could keep doing this, and we would love to keep doing this, and Kim and I are still going to keep doing this, we just aren't going to be recording our personal conversations anymore. It was time to let go of how this podcast, Masks Off, has been for the last 2.5 years. And Kim is going to take it on her own direction. I am going to be focusing on my coaching, which has been taking up more and more time, which I'm so extremely grateful for all my clients and all of that. And I absolutely love supporting people stepping into their authenticity and transforming their life and really embracing their shadows along with their light. And then, of course, being an ambassador to Dr. Shefali's Coaching Institute just fills me up. So supporting coaches in training and all that goes with that. And, Kim knows, and some of you may know from just me personally or in the conversations, that I've run circle groups before, and I keep wanting to go back and doing that. And I just haven't had the time. And so it's time to restart my stepping into the Authentic You circle groups. I don't know exactly when the first one will start up again, but I will share that when that does, just because that's a part that's really filled me up and I've been missing it. And with the podcast and the time that the podcast has taken, I haven't had the space to bring that back to life. And then I also want to start creating my intuition class. I haven't named it. I don't know what it's going to look like, but all of that. And then so that's a little bit about where my direction, that shift in, when a door closes, another opens, where my intention right now is going to go. And Kim has some super exciting stuff too to share. So why don't you share your side of this, the evolution process?
Yes. Well, first of all, I'm super excited for you. I know it's going to be awesome and amazing. And so for me, I am pivoting and transitioning because well, what am I pivoting from? I'm pivoting from the RTT, or rapid transformational therapy, which is what I've been trained in for the last couple of years and doing. I'm not going to abandon that totally. I'm just going to use the hypnosis as a tool to support what it is that I'm going to do. Now, I haven't officially defined what that is, because I'm going to be honest, because this is Masks Off, and so we're honest, right? Is that I am working with a business coach that I just signed on. So I'm really excited for that. So I'm going to get really clear and focused on what my messaging is and who I want to work with, and then come up with a program that will be designed around that. It is somehow, it's got to be tied into Masks Off, because that's all I talk about is the people pleaser, the perfectionist. Like those masks or patterns, because that's what they are, patterns, are so interwoven in who I am that I can't not teach and preach or help other people around those. So that's what it's going to be centered around that somehow, because we always can take our mess and make it our message.
Yes.
And so that's what I'm planning to do. And then I'm going to continue to do the Masks Off podcast and talk about the people pleaser and the perfectionist and the rescuer and fixer.
All of those. There's so many
of those.
And who knows what other ones you're going to
And who knows? And who's
conversations, right?
Exactly. So more may unfold. And then I've been doing the similar thing on TikTok, and then the other piece is stepping outside my comfort zone. So that's going on TikTok, and doing all of this, really.
Yeah.
Developing and creating more of a social media presence is stepping outside my comfort zone. And so the podcast is going to be a part of that. That's like one platform. And whether or not I stay with TikTok, we'll see, because, my business coach may say, pick one platform, one authority platform, and that might be the podcast. It might be Facebook, but I'll be on social media some way, somehow. And then the hope is that along with Masks Off and doing the podcast, that I will move into some type of motivational speaking.
Woo!
And and that really has been becoming more obvious or evident to me, because, first of all, the talk I did with Dr. Shafali last week, but even I've just started really remembering that when I was 13, I was president of student council in 8th grade, and I had to give the speech at graduation night. I don't remember what the speech said or what I talked about. I can't even remember, but all I know is I have this felt sense that at 13 years old, that I commanded the audience. I could just tell that they were engaged with what I was saying, and it felt natural for me to do that at 13. And then I can remember later on, when I was at the Sjogren's patient conference, getting up and speaking, and just, different opportunities where I've had to share, and it just feels comfortable. So continuing to do Masks Off is natural for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I just love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for us, and we were talking too, before we hit record, one thing we wanted to stress in this recording is, again, we'll pat ourselves on the back a little bit. I guess there's a little patting ourselves on the back on this episode, but that's also part of it, right? Not hiding from that light.
Yeah.
In the evolution that we have had. And it is how authentic and true our friendship is.
Yeah.
Because this was not an easy decision, but it was a knowing decision, if that makes sense.
Say more.
So having these like I said earlier, it kind of came out and we sat with it, and then we had to come together and share where we were coming from with that worry and fear of disappointing the other, or, oh, what if that's not what she wants? I think we both came into that in our own way. Yet we knew our friendship was solid enough to have this conversation. And even if someone were either one of us were gonna have a reaction or have something, we knew we would be able to work through it, but staying silent and not staying true to that knowing would have been more painful. And neither one of us would have wanted that for the other.
Yeah.
And so I think for me, one of my biggest takeaways in our mass off evolution of 2.5 years and our friendship prior, which just deepened so
Totally.
much through this process that we've been able to share together, shows and demonstrates to me what I had been missing in friendship, right? Like a trust and a knowing, and like, you know what, we can talk about whatever we need to talk about, you know, because we'd had difficult conversations before, whether they were recorded or not recorded. Because of course, you know, as you build a podcast, build a business, you know, we created courses together, we did all these things, we had to check in.
Yep.
You know, we did the business partnership, legal
Yep.
stuff. You know, we went through all that. And because we knew like, okay, I don't know how you're going to take this, but we need to talk about this, was what made this closure of us, you know, me stepping away from mass off, stepping into something else, you stepping into it in your own autonomous inner rising. Like, I'm just celebrating you and us. And it's just an exciting thing. And like it fills me up to know that we made this decision together. And even if one of us wanted it more than the other, which I don't really feel is the case, maybe in our own way, who knows, we would support each other no matter what. And I mean, talk about mass off right there.
Yeah. I hear you on all that. And I love the part that you said, because this can happen so easily in any relationship. So like if we have like well, there's more than one piece of wisdom in this last episode, but if we had like one, I think it is the part where you do show up and you say what you're truly feeling. Because if we didn't have those difficult conversations, and I know clearly I would say a couple of times, okay, Tia, I'm taking my mask off.
Yeah, you actually start it like that.
I will start it like I'm taking my mask off. And had I not, I know for certain, because of how I am and how I've been in past relationships. And I know how people also like may be listening to this and saying, oh yeah, I do that too, that I would start to withdraw.
Right.
And you would feel that from me. Like, oh, she's different. What's wrong with her? Like what, what's going on?
Yeah.
So
that's everything when that happens.
And then it affects everything.
Right.
And I know, and often when that's happened in the past with friendships, those friendships came to an end. They are no longer in my life. So it was like, okay, either show up and be honest and say where I'm at, or do my old pattern of start withdrawing and pulling back and shutting down. And it's gonna end anyway.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? So exactly. It's so important that we had those conversations. We had that really good communication, like you said, and we navigated through, because there were difficult conversations over 2.5 years.
Definitely.
Especially in the beginning when we were trying to navigate and figure things out,
Right. Went from just personal private conversations to
like business stuff.
Recorded, and then exactly the business stuff. And then who's going to do what? Are you going to do that? Oh, do you feel like you're doing more than me? Or, hey, I feel like I'm, like we kept touching base along.
Yeah. We checked in a lot.
And again, not to pat ourselves on the back.
Yeah.
I think that's why we are able to release mass off as it was.
Yeah. With
such clarity and connection to the podcast, but most importantly to each other. It's so cool. It really, I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. That sounds like I can't find the words for it.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited you decided to continue with it and make it your own. And I can't wait to see what it evolves into. I mean, who knows? You could change its name. You don't know. Who knows?
I don't know. There may be some glitches where 1 week it doesn't show up because I didn't do the technology.
It'll be perfectly imperfect.
I know.
Right?
I'm just laughing.
You've already learned so much in that aspect too. So you got to give.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I know, you know what, time will tell, but in this moment, this is where we're going. This is the direction, and we wanted everyone to hear it from us so that they weren't wondering what happened. You now know, you start seeing me show up alone. T and I are good. We're,
Totally.
nothing has happened. So we thought that this would be, and when this one releases, it'll be July 28th. So it'll be like the end of the month. And then beginning in August, with August 4th is when it'll be released with just me, and then some guests along the way.
Yeah. Yeah. And we'll still have the Facebook group will still be going.
Yes. The Facebook community.
Yep.
And
I'll stay in
Instagram.
there for a little while.
Yep. And Tia's going to hang out there.
And we talked about that, right?
Yeah.
Conversation. So I'll be there for a little while. I'll share probably when I do get my circle group back up and running or whatever. But really, the torch is being passed primarily to Kim for that. So I'll be more of a background player there for a while.
Yep.
And then Instagram, you're going to keep going.
I'm going to keep going. What about Teachable? Do you want to tell them what we're doing with Teachable?
Oh, yeah.
Like our courses.
Teachable, great. That's a good point. Teachable still, I'm going to keep that up and running for now. I may change the name just because Kim is really taking the mask off aspect. So I might just change, but you wouldn't even notice that probably in Teachable. But we are keeping our combined Balancing Your Backpack.
Yep.
And I Am Whole is still going to be available.
Yep.
For anyone who wants it. It's still free. We're both going to still be sending that to clients if we feel that will be supportive for them. So that will still be available. For those of you who took True North, that will no longer be available for purchase.
Yeah.
However, if you had it, it will be available for, I mean, if you took it and paid for it, it's going to be available until I still have Teachable likely. So that's really it. But so you're stepping away from the Teachable platform.
I am
stepping away from the Mask Off platform. But we're keeping that those two combined courses available because we put a lot of time and effort. And
we did.
Really valuable still for people to have.
We still wanted to serve people for sure.
Exactly. But
as
far as will we create a course or another thing together? Who knows?
We don't know. Yeah.
But as of right now, nothing is in the works.
Yeah.
We had thought we were going to have something in the works for fall, but we both need to put our energy somewhere else.
Yeah.
But maybe we will come back together. Who knows?
You never know.
No.
Awesome. Oh my goodness.
Right.
That is what we have taught for 2 years, to stay in the present moment.
And trusting that inner
Yeah.
voice, but still keeping connection, right? So it doesn't mean you withdraw. In fact, I feel we leaned in even more than we,
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Even though we're choosing separate directions, the lean in was strong.
I think so.
Which is
I like that, how you worded that. Awesome. Woo. Well, do you feel complete?
I feel complete, and I do notice I'm a little teary-eyed.
I know.
I can feel it underneath the surface to be saying goodbye to all of our amazing listeners. I mean, who knows? Maybe Kim will have me back as a guest.
Yeah, I know.
So, but as far as showing up every week, that chapter has closed.
Yeah.
For myself, but you are all in amazing hands with Kim, and keep listening because trust me, she is gonna keep bringing you wisdom and amazing guests and amazing podcasts. You're not going to want to miss it.
Awesome.
So grateful.
Oh my gosh.
The end of a chapter.
The end of a chapter. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
We'll see you soon.
Bye.